Dude, I did this so bad.
We don't want to look like to your crew chief here.
Yeah,
so.
we don't want to look like we're soft. Yes, is it you or the car?
Oh, yeah.
What's going on, everybody? David Gravel here. We are back with the Gravel Show. We haven't been active here in the last couple weeks, but being a dad, being with the family, going on vacation, celebrating a little bit, makes it tough. Just like this right here. Jill is supposed to be putting Levi to bed, and he said no. So he is awake still. But what an amazing season for us, guys. 2024 checked off a lot of boxes. And this is real life, and this is what having a 2-year-old kid is like. But amazing 2024. The support from everybody, our race team, fans, all year long was just a dream come true. T-shirt trailer was busy all year long. Felt a lot of love. But, man, there's a lot of negativity in the social media world with High Limit versus Outlaws. But I definitely see all the Outlaw fans, all the people that are passionate for David Gravel, and appreciate you all you guys. So I know people have been asking for the show to continue on, and we had all plans on doing that. Just life is busy. So we're here. We're doing a show today, and then we're doing a show Tuesday. And I found out who my guest is going to be. We're going to have Brad Sweet on Tuesday. So we'll have the World of Outlaw champion and the High Limit champion talking in the same room, which I think will be cool. Be able to compare and contrast our seasons and, talk about the goods, talk about the bads, and where the future of the Outlaws is going, where the future of the High Limit series is going. So Brad's a pretty good friend of mine. I feel like we get a lot of good insight. And then, maybe we'll ask Brad if he thinks I could beat him or not. So all is good. We kind of have an agenda here for this show. We're going to talk about my season a little bit, the high points and the low points. We're going to show some video footage while I'm talking about it and showing, what we did really good and what we did really bad. And then we're going to touch on money earned with and without the Outlaw points. And then with High Limit as well, and kind of see who made the jump to World of Outlaws for the first time, who made the jump to High Limit for the first time, and were those good or bad moves for their team financially. So looking forward to that. Excuse me. We're going to touch on the Dome a little bit, that race that just went down, and if maybe we should have sprint cars or midgets back indoors other than the Chili Bowl. And then we're going to talk about the aggressive driving in our sport. Obviously, Carson Macedo specifically has had a lot of flack here in the last couple weeks. And I'll give my opinion on, where our sport's at. Obviously, you guys know I had a little bit of drama with Buddy this year. And, did he wreck me? No, he didn't wreck me. So we'll talk about that later on in the show and my viewpoint on it. And I think racing is in a different position today and how we race. I think we still had aggressive drivers back in the day, and now I feel like there's more aggressive than finesse guys. And I'm excited to talk about that topic. And excited to have Brad Sweet on Tuesday, 8 Eastern this coming week. And then we'll be going to the PRI show. I'll be at the PRI show Thursday, Friday, and a little bit on Saturday. So looking forward to that, seeing all our partners and sponsors. Speaking of our sponsors, we got to thank everybody that makes this deal happen. Houston Speedway, Billion Automotive, Jackson Motorplex, Simpson Racing Products, Butler Built Seats. And we're going to probably have, hopefully, Marlowe's back and Lake Home Retreats back on Tuesday. They've been a supporter of the show for a long time. But if you are interested in the show and sponsoring the show, we will list your company before and after the show goes, a commercial or whatever you guys like, website information, and a little bio on your guys' company. So if anybody wants to pitch in on that, that'll be fantastic. If not, it is all good. But we're going to try to get back into this Gravel show on a weekly basis and, try to make this fun, have several guests on, hopefully nothing but amazing guests on, and try to get the top names in our motorsports and not even just dirt track racing, try to tap into the NASCAR world. You got Ty Gibbs trying to get into dirt racing and Kyle Busch. So it'd be pretty cool if we could get somebody like that on the show and get their perspective on dirt racing. And looking really, really forward to it. So let's start with the season in review. Obviously, great season, led the nation in wins. Carson beat us in top 5s, and we led the season in top 10. So not sure if Carter has the stats on the season, but if not, we will start with the highs of the year. Hopefully, we will see. But if not, guys, obviously, getting our 100th win this year, getting Todd Quiring's 100th win this year, getting Cody's 50th win at Charlotte, just feels really, really, really good. So couldn't do it without Cody, Steven, and Zach. Gave me a great car all year long, and feels really good to be fast 9 times out of 10. And I had a couple wrecks, a couple things were my fault and that I need to clean up. So hopefully Carter is going to.
They work the traffic into corner number 1. Sheldon to the inside of Keith Baxter. Can he make the move? Slides up in front of the 1B. David Gravel comes back at Sheldon as he takes the lead into turn 3, but now gets into Baxter, and Gravel is into the wall. David Gravel into the wall after contact with the lap car, and there is severe damage to the front end of the Big Game Motorsports number 2. Baxter raced Hodenshield back to the end of the back straightaway. David Gravel threw it in there hard, but Baxter was right there, and Gravel got into him. Both cars up into the wall, and you can see severe damage, and maybe a little piece of that for the 41 of Carson Macedo as well. And unfortunately, the 1 to go signal shown to the field, so David Gravel will not make it out for this restart. They'll continue to work and hope to catch another caution flag or a red flag and stay on the lead.
So obviously that was a low point. We were a shock nut away, I believe, from making out in time. Realistically, they should have pushed me out with no shock, but there was a caution 3 or 4 laps later. We were 4 laps down, but we still went back out there. I think gained 1 or 2 spots from guys falling out. But if you replay that video, which is hard, right, it'd be good to talk about it while I'm talking and watching at the same time. But, my goal was to slide Sheldon and squeak behind Baxter and clear Sheldon in there. And obviously that was a misjudgment. Keith Baxter, I don't even know who he is. No disrespect to him, but obviously he's a local guy at Atomic. Don't know if he's fast or not, but he wasn't running the top where the top was starting to take rubber and had, more grip than where he was at. And the closing speed was just way too fast. Misjudged it, got into him, crashed my car, and too much damage to fix it in the 2 minutes. And, that was definitely a low point in the season for us. That is the biggest one throughout this year that I want back, obviously. You're looking back at the grand scheme of things, I was out for blood to win races. And typically I'm a smarter driver than that. But that night I wasn't. I had the blood pumping and was too aggressive. So if I just slow down, follow Sheldon going into the corner, run second or win or run third, it's going to be way better than running 19th that night. So that's something that I need to clean up as a driver. And I feel like you got to be real with yourself. And, that was my bad. So that's something I plan on cleaning up. And, we're all human and we all make mistakes. But that was like, man, we were fast. We were closing in a hurry. Sheldon had a torrid pace in clean air. But once we got to lap traffic, he really got woed up. And, yeah, just something that I'm not proud of. But let's see if we could roll this next clip here.
Buddy Kofoid showing the way. David Gravel using the bottom here. Now Larson going to jump to the bottom. The bottom's the place to be right now, says Young Buddy.
Buddy Kofoid trying to rip around all of them on the top, and it's suddenly a 3-car battle for the lead. Gravel tries the top side out of turn 2, and he takes the lead away from Kyle Larson.
David Gravel from downtown to the point, but here comes Kyle Larson roaring back on the outside. Gravel with the lead, Larson all over him, Buddy Kofoid slipping back. Well, that's a great view of this battle for the leader in Jacksonville. Larson back to the top. Gravel will yield for now, but he's back to the bottom.
David Gravel on the bottom, slower car is there. Larson leads lap 26. Top 3 nose to tail in heavy traffic in turns 1 and 2. Gravel to the inside out of turn number 2, side by side with Larson into 3 and 4 with 5 to go in Jacksonville.
Laps are ticking away, and Larson just got a big helping hand there by some laps lap traffic. Now maybe going to be stuck behind him as Gravel trying to roar back to life here. Blitz Craig Kinzer. Craig Kinzer going to cross him over. It's going to open the door for David Gravel. David Gravel in the middle of 3-1. Slides Larson up into the wall. Gravel back to the lead.
3 laps to go. David Gravel leads lap 32. Into 3 and 4. One last time. David Gravel wins at Jacksonville. Kyle Larson second. Buddy Kofoid third. Carson Macedo fourth. And Corey Day in fifth.
So obviously, guys, World of Outlaws picked that out to be the race of the year for the World of Outlaws, and what a great race. We took, some of the time off before that. Lap 24 on was still a great battle, and to get by Kyle, and then Kyle get back by me, and then in lap traffic he kind of got hung up with Craig Kinzer, and what a race. There I judged it just right. I gave him enough space to think that he could go around me, but was able to get in front of him and force him to kind of hit the brakes at Jacksonville, which that place is so small and a place that I didn't really like going into the weekend. But when you have a car that good, you're able to do stuff that he wasn't able to do. And that says a lot about our team and what we had going on there. So what a night, probably the second most deserving win. I felt like Kings Royal is number one, but that's probably the second most deserving to start fifth, I think, there, or start third and fall back a couple spots. And that's when I had beef with Buddy. I think the Paducah thing was a week or 2 or 3 before that, and wasn't a big fan of Buddy at the time, and was racing really, really hard with him, and then just able to work the middle of the bottom and, get up there and battle and beat Kyle fair and square in a track that I would say he excels at more than I do, and was very, very rewarding, deserving, and felt good for me, Cody, and the whole team. So what a race. Jacksonville put on a great show. I see they're on the schedule again this year. Usually we're like every other year with that event, I believe, but couldn't ask for much more. Sold out crowd. And great event. So we will move on to the next clip, hopefully.
Turn 4 and down to the white flag. 1 lap to go in the Federated Auto Parts Gettysburg Clash. Gravel into 3 and 4. Checkered flag in the air. Round 1 of the battle between the Outlaws and the Posse goes to David Gravel in the World of Outlaws. Giovanni Scelzi second. Carson Macedo third for a World of Outlaws podium sweep. Hoosier Tire neckband, NOS Energy Drink Victory Lane hat, and VP Fuels checkered flag up top to celebrate win number 6 on the season and his second in his career with the World of Outlaws here at Lincoln Speedway.
You start on the pole and you have no idea what kind of pace you should be running, or if you should run it harder, or changing lines, and it got really slick there at the end off of 4, and didn't know if I needed to move or not, but I knew if I got down the backstretch good, I could run her in pretty hard and then just maintain on exit. But if I was second or third there, I would have definitely been searching around. I think the bottom came into play there if I had to see. Hi, buddy. Levi just flew in today, so we got Todd's 100th win, but congrats to Todd Queering. He's put so much into this sport, and for him to get 100 is really, really cool. And our joke was, once he gets his 100, hopefully I could get mine. So we're still a few away from that, but we're going to keep working hard and doing our jobs. And this Houston's 2 has been really, really fun to drive here lately, and really all year. Cody, Zach, and Steven been doing a really, really good job. And Brian Morrison's here. We swept 1-2 for Morrison Engine, so that's really cool for them. But got to thank everybody at Houston Speedway, Billion Automotive, Jackson Motorplex, High Performance Lubricants, JRC Transportation, all those people, Varian Suspension, Impact Signs, Butler Built Seats. Couldn't do without them, and it's been a lot of fun. Hopefully this weather cooperates and we get the race at the Grove. Yeah, so obviously got to hear my whole interview, so that sums up a lot of it, but really good at Lincoln that night, starting on the pole, really helps out, made the right moves, and to get Todd's, when you're searching for those milestone goals, and you never know where you're going to get them, or you could go into a slump and you can't reach those goals. To get his 100th win that early in the year was very, very awesome to put that behind us. And the next goal was to get my 100th win. And, for us to do that too, was great. So Lincoln Speedway has been a track that's been pretty damn good to me, other than when we were there in October. That was a rough night, but we were able to salvage a decent finish. But Lincoln Speedway, I've got accustomed to and really, really enjoy racing at Lincoln Speedway. Usually gets really wide and slick and technical. So, so cool. Not many car owners have 100 World of Outlaw wins, and it's a pretty short list with, Tony Stewart and Casey Kane and Roth Motorsports, I believe. And I think there's less 100 winning car owners than there is drivers, I believe, by one. So pretty elite list of car owners to do that, and we'll continue on with the highlights of the season.
Once again, Donnie Schatz looking for the lead. Schatz with a bid for the top spot out of turn number 4. Side by side with Gravel. Gravel down low to try to slam the door, but Donnie Schatz off the bottom of turn 2 takes the race lead.
Donnie Schatz to the lead with 9 to go. They're side by side for the top spot. Gravel continues to rip the fence. Lap cars right there on the high side and off at turn number 4. Donnie Schatz leads the Kings Royal with 8 to go.
David Gravel not giving up on his first Kings Royal crown. He goes back to the cushion, trying to power back around Schatz. He'll have a run out of turn number 4, and David Gravel back to the lead on lap 34.
You gotta wonder how much right rear does Donnie Schatz have left in it, though, in the 15. He ran her hard to get there. Now Gravel starting to run away. The hourglass starting to run empty. Johnny Gibson, 5 laps to go at the Kings Royal.
And now Donnie Schatz right back to his inside.
You gotta wonder, did that cause any damage to the Big Game Motorsports 2? They're side by side for the lead down the backstretch. This time by 3 to go for the Kings Royal.
Donnie Schatz to the inside. Gravel hit the wall on a turn 4 the last time. He'll maintain the lead, but Donnie Schatz will have an opportunity in the final 3 laps. He goes back to the bottom in turns 1 and 2. David Gravel trying to stay up front. Donnie Schatz right there behind him as they race into 3 and 4. This time by, the white flag will wave for David Gravel at Eldora. One more lap in the Kings Royal.
Gravel's got a lap car between himself and Donnie Schatz. Gravel up on the high side. Schatz off the bottom, down the backstretch. Final 2 left-hand turns for David Gravel.
Gravel into 3 and 4, rides the cushion. Donnie Schatz, one last desperate attempt down low, but David Gravel is a Kings Royal champion. Ladies and gentlemen, King David the 41st, David Gravel.
God damn, why is Donnie Schatz so damn good? Damn. You can't put that guy away no matter where he starts. I saw he was 7th or whatever on the open red. I'm like, I know he's going to be a factor. And when I looked down, I thought maybe it was Logan. And there he is, Donnie Schatz again. And I just had to drive my ass off and do my best hogline impression and just run the shit out of it. Yeah, just awesome. Cody's got a lot of confidence right now. I have a lot of confidence right now. Steven and Zach are doing a great job. And it's just been a lot of fun. We've had a couple of DNFs this year, but every time we're on the racetrack and this 2-car finishes, it's typically in a good way. So, man, what a race. I just got to thank Todd Quiring for hiring me 4 years ago. Got to say hello to Taylor, Andrew, and Lisa, and Luke, all they do. And just got to thank Houston Speedway, Billion Automotive, Jackson Motorplex, High Performance Lubricants, JRC Transportation. Doug Berryman's here. He builds our shocks. Brian Morrison Motors ran awesome all weekend, very drivable. Impact signs, Butler built seats, keep me safe. So Simpson Racing Products, what a year. I was so jealous of Brent Marks doing it that 1 year, and for us to do it, it's really, really special. And I'm going to have to pay some quarterly taxes because Uncle Sam's going to suck this year. I've let it known I don't like to ride the wall, but it's a Kings Royal. You're in the lead, and you see Donnie Schatz, and I always try to save a little bit of a second gear, and was able to hit that second gear and plugged it in the wall and rode the wall for a little while, and luckily got out of it and didn't hurt too much. And I thought those lap cars were going to mess with me a little bit, and they kind of did. And, just hats off to Donnie for racing the right way. I try to race as clean, as good as he does, and just a lot of respect for him. And, I definitely hope I earn that respect, too, at the end of my career as well.
How excited are you to put this crown on here in a second?
Yeah, like I said earlier today, the coolest celebration for a winning crown jewel event, and to get that 3rd crown jewel is just amazing. And I'm not going to Whistler tonight. I'm definitely partying.
Jason, do the honors. With the power bestowed to me, you're now King David Gravel, the 41st.
King David the 41st at Eldora.
Yeah, so to get that third crown jewel, to do it the way we did it, pretty amazing. Kings Royal's been an event that the format has always got me. About 2 times in my career, hit the format right and was able to, really get in good position to have a chance to win a Kings Royal, and to do it that way. Donnie coming from deep, just feels really, really good. It's a short list to win that Triple Crown, and to get it was really cool. All week long, our car was so good from the middle to the bottom. And, that night it wasn't as good, but damn, it was perfect on the top. And 3 and 4, I could run the fence with a lot of confidence. And it's such a shame that Dirt Vision didn't catch me getting into the fence, excuse me, getting into the fence there, because that was such a moment. I rode the wall for several seconds, and, I thought I was screwed. It was going to have a flat or something was broken on the car. And, luckily there's enough dirt built up on the wall that, nothing happened. Nothing was wrong with the car. So I was very, very fortunate. And, to get that done was awesome. To get that done for Cody. We've been so close to winning Knoxville Nationals, running second 2 years in a row, or whatever it was, 3 years in a row. 2 years in a row we did. And, to finally get that crown jewel for him, and Todd's already won it, but I haven't. So that was such a cool moment. What an amazing week we had with the Brad Doty Classic, and then winning the 100,000 high limit race was super, super cool as well. So, excuse me, I had this little cough after getting sick at Charlotte. I don't know if anybody else got sick at Charlotte, but I did for sure. But yeah, that's a awesome highlight. And to finish off the highlights of the season, we'll have one more here.
Gravel to the cushion. He's got to run out of turn 4, looking for the lead. David Gravel side by side with Schatz. And now Gravel to the lead once again in turns 1 and 2. Schatz was ahead of the line by 1/1000th of a second, but now Gravel in front at the end of the back straightaway. At Williams Grove Speedway, marks to the top, exiting turn 4, looking for a run on second place. Donnie Schatz goes right back to the cushion in 1 and 2. Gravel puts a few car lengths on second place. Donnie Schatz able to keep Brent Marks at bay. They race into 3 and 4. Schatz to the bottom. Schatz actually gained a little bit of ground on David Gravel there. Schatz to the inside in 1 and 2, and Donnie Schatz not done with this one yet. If he can stay with Gravel out of turn 2, an opportunity in the final set of corners. Into turns 3 and 4. Schatz to the inside. David Gravel, however, will get his 100th career World of Outlaws victory at Williams Grove Speedway. Climb up top for the 100th time with the greatest show on dirt. David Gravel gets the $20,000 score at Williams Grove, and Connor Wade ready to talk to him.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I raced with Joey Saldana for a long time, and man, at the end of the career, you just wanted that 100 so bad, and to achieve that milestone, beating Donnie Schatz at Williams Grove, what a place to do it. This 2-car, we haven't been in victory lane here at Williams Grove, and this is a really hard track to win at, and felt like I was hanging on there a little bit at the end. I saw Donnie poking his nose, but I felt like doing what I was doing had been hard for him to pass me, and yeah, this feels really good. Not really, just because when he had the lead and went low, that's how I got big runs on him, so I thought as long as I exited off of 4 good, I would be okay. And then I was kind of running the middle on entrance in 1 and 2, thought that was better, but they said he was running just below me. So, maybe I should have kept going low down there, but it was good enough to get the job done. We had something go wrong with a wheel before the feature, didn't get to put the right wheel on, and a little bit nervous going into that feature. And the car was good, maneuverable. I felt like we were hanging on a little bit at the end, but overall I thought we had a really good race car. And to beat the 69K and the 15 and the 19, probably the 3 best, Williams Grove cars in the last 10 years. So got to thank Cody, Zach, and Steven. This 2-car just been a blast to drive. Got to thank Todd Quering and everybody at Big Game Motorsports, Taylor, Andrew, Lisa, Luke. Couldn't do with all of them people. And Houston Speedway, Billion Automotive, JRC Transportation, Jackson Motorplex, High Performance Lubricants, Simpson Race Products, Impact Signs, Butler Built Seats. Couldn't do with all them, and then all the car owners before that. I bounced around a lot in my career and was able to win in a lot of different cars, but I wouldn't be here without all those people giving me opportunities. As a sprint car driver trying to make a living, people have to take chances on you, and going out with Bill Rose and Rod Tyner and having a shitty season and the CJB hiring me, all those things just catapulted my career. Roth gave me my first big national opportunity. So it's been a fun ride, and I'm 32 years old. Hopefully,
So I'm speaking a little quieter. Levi's not going to sleep, giving us a hard time tonight. So sorry if I'm a little mute and a little quiet, but he's giving us a hard time today. But Williams Grove, what a special track. Somehow it is my most winningest World of Outlaw track in my career, and such a hard place to win at. I felt like the years with CJB and the JJR car, so dominant there, won so many races in a year there. And, it's been eluding us with the 2-car, felt like we qualified pretty good and put ourselves in decent position, and then we just can't perform in the features. So that night there to outduel Donnie and Pittman in the 69K felt great. We had a great car that night. Car was maneuverable. Track got slick. Was getting out of the racetrack, and Donnie was right there. And, if it was probably Macri or Macedo, they probably would have threw a bomb on me. But, Donnie racing the way he did, it all worked out for myself. So, what a night to get my 100th win. Never knew that day was ever going to come. And, when you get close and start winning races, 50 comes, and then, you put together a string of good years, and it's pretty cool how fast it could pile up. So, great night, 100th win. So amazing. National Open, we were so excited to go there this year, and, we qualified good and just didn't quite have it in the features there. And such a tricky and tough place. The list of National Open winners are very small as well. And, such a tough track, and I can't even explain why. Just a unique shape, but you figured out, we've been around there good before, but you could go there the next time and, not be good. So it's a very, very deserving track to go to for sure. Got to stay hydrated. Hopefully everybody's hanging out, maybe watch some football, going to watch this other game that just started, and, shoot the shit with David Gravel here on the Gravel Show. So that's the season review, guys. Great season. Our top 10 percentage was awesome. We led in wins and money earned, which was amazing. And to win that championship, pretty good. So we're going to talk about the earnings this year. So if you look at this is no points fund money. So me and Carson, top 2, Rico, Corey Day, Sunshine. So we have 3 high limit guys in the top 5 without point fund money. And then, look at 3, 4, 5, 6 high limit. And then you got Buddy, Outlaw. So pretty top heavy with the World of Outlaws, in the sense of, Carson won a good bit of races. He won 83,000 at Tulare. And then I won 2, big races, 2 6-figure races. Rico won several big events. Corey Day won some big events as well. But to see it throughout, so if you look at the top 15, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the top 15. So in my opinion, that's not very good. And if we talk about high limit guys, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So even 6 for the Outlaws and 6 for the Outlaws. And then we have Larson, who is obviously, I would call a pick and choose guy, Macri pick and choose, and Danny Dietrich pick and choose. So Pretty even there, surprisingly, but I would like to see some of the outlaw guys up there, but let's bring out the earnings with points fund money to see the difference. Hopefully. Yeah. Yeah, here we go. So me and Carson still 1 and 2. Brad went from 6th to all the way to 3rd in earnings. Obviously, him being the champion, gets bumped way up. So we did the top 15 before. Let's do the top 15 again. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got 7 outlaws, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 for the high limit guys. So give the edge to the World of Outlaw guys. 7 of the top 15, but still pretty damn close. Definitely top heavy. For us to get $1 million for total earnings, we did that last year as well. I mean, if you did 300 or 400,000 in a season, you're doing great, several years ago. But now, I mean, what streaming has Dirt Vision and Flow Sports and Flow Racing has done for our sport to inject this money in our sport, like for 10 people to be in that 500,000 range is pretty amazing. It'd be back when Donnie was winning all those races. He was making 500,000 in earnings, and then second was 300. And if you're over 100 grand for the year, that was good. So our sport to get there like that in this short amount of time in this last 5 years, it's pretty amazing. You just look at guys like Justin Peck bringing in 306,000. I'm guessing he hasn't brought in that in a long time. Gio Scelzi bringing 459,000, pretty amazing. And seeing this graphic, and to highlight a couple people, not picking anybody out, but we're going to pick out guys that made the jump to a touring series or a different touring series, and did it work out for them or not? And some of the obvious ones as the positives that did it help them out. Rico Abreu, right? He was able to get a good chunk of points fund money running in the top 3 with high limit, winning some big races, but I don't think his car has brought in anything near 673,000 before. Another guy, Tyler Courtney, 599,000. Now, the 1 year he won the Kings Royal was 175,000. I'm guessing he was probably in the $300,000 to $400,000 range, but 600 grand for him, this early in his wing career, I feel like damn good. And Corey Day, right, first year on a touring series, huge jump up, pretty obvious. And Buddy Kofoid, not running a touring series before, rookie with the World of Outlaws, to bring in 564,000. Great first year. All these kids that are Buddy's age and below, just getting good or just getting started. Man, what a time to be a sprint car driver, and very, very fortunate. Now, the people that made a change, and I think that was maybe a negative thing for them, I'll do it in order, would be, I would say maybe Brent Marks a little bit, bringing in 420,000. Now, in previous years, he's won the National Open. He won the 100,000 at Eldora and the Kings Royal. So, some of those years were inflated, but that's what my year was like, right? I did the same thing Brent did a few years ago, and, he didn't this year. So if he won one of those crown jewel events, maybe it would have been a better season for him. But, he did okay in the points. But I would say a little bit of a downturn for his performance this year running high limit. James McFadden made the change. He had the whole custom things in the beginning of the year. That kind of screwed his season up, but he came on strong. But the two that I see that made the change from World of Outlaw to high limit, Jacob Allen and Spencer Baston. I know Jacob had a year where he won 4 or 5 races, definitely brought in more money than that. And Spencer at 228. These guys definitely earned less money with the points fund racing with high limit, and I would say a little bit of the purse money as well. So those are two guys that didn't see a positive change with high limit, but the way I look at it, and we're going to cover this on Tuesday, the average money with the World of Outlaws, in my opinion, is stronger. The high limit guys, very, very top heavy. So if you go out and win those big races, you know, you could make a lot of money. And that's why I saw Rico, Sunshine, Brad, and Corey Day there were, you know, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Just because, you know, the Skagit race, the Gold Cup, you know, you got the Rudine race, you know, Port Royal was won by, I think the Tuscarora 50. I think Rico won, I believe. I could be wrong, but I think Rico won the Tuscarora 50. So, you know, you win those high limit races, and then you have an opportunity to win the World of Outlaw big events like, you know, the Kings Royal and the Knoxville Nationals and the National Open. So your chances of hitting and cashing on those big paydays is higher with the high limit guys, but you're racing for more average money. If you're running 5th every night, you're making more money with the World of Outlaws. If you win 20 races and you're a high limit guy, probably making more money with high limit than winning, say, 20 races with the World of Outlaws. So I think it all has its place for everybody. And it's interesting, you know, a lot of people got on the high limit tour this year, and I feel like they'll definitely lose some cars this year. I think it didn't work out for everybody. I think the Outlaws might gain a couple this year. I felt like we were a little bit low on car count. But I think for full-time guys, our car count was not low throughout the year at all, but I think we'll gain 2 or 3 more full-timers. We got a lot of people with maybes. So I'm sure here PRI Show Week, we'll probably have some announcements if I had to guess. Yeah, we'll go from there. So exciting time, guys. I don't want to talk about the World of Outlaw and high limit thing and beat it to death because it's been talked about a lot. But it's going to be a lot of the topics that we're going to talk about on Tuesday. So if you guys have questions, you can save it to the end of this show. But if it's something specific about high limit and outlaw, we'll definitely talk about it next week on Tuesday, which is only a few days away, with Brad, and really get into the meat and potatoes. And, you know, we got a lot of things to talk about. Ohio Speed Week, going back to Vegas, you know, the All-Stars coming back, right? There's so many things that is going to be, you know, really, really cool to talk about. But let's see if we could bring up the World of Outlaw schedule. I believe we have that graphic ready to go. And if you guys have questions, please save them, and we'll talk about them here at the end of the show. If we don't, that's okay. But we will talk about some of the obvious things. Going back to Canada. Yeah, here we go. So, you know, beginning of the year, pretty similar to what we have been doing. You see a 2-day show Arrowhead, which I think is a cool track. If we could keep that place from taking rubber, it's going to be an awesome, awesome place to race at. And then the biggest one in May there, going back to Canada, Ohsweken Speedway, probably my favorite Canadian track that I've ever been to. Super slick, super wide, technical. Really looking forward to going back there. And Cornwall, I raced there once with the World of Outlaws. I believe I was in the Roth car. I went back and looked at the results. Small, high bank, cool track from what I could remember. So excited to go back there. No more Jackson Nationals, but we have 2 one-day events there. So really we don't lose any days at Jackson, but no Jackson Nationals. But hopefully no flooding next year at Huset's, and we could have the High Bank Nationals for $250,000 4 days in a row. Going to be a huge week there. You see the multiple Knoxville dates. You know, looking forward to that. Hopefully no rain early in the year. I feel like we always battle rain at those. I believe it's April 18th and 19th there. And then, you know, we're going to some new tracks and some tracks we haven't been to. Mississippi Thunder, one that I've always thought looked like an awesome track for late models, and looking for racing at that place. Looks like it'd be a lot of fun. Vado, something that's back on the schedule. When we were there early in the year, a few years ago, it was really windy and cold. And, you know, hopefully when we go there that time of year, we have great weather. It's a great facility. Royal Jones owns the facility, and really excited to get back there, and hopefully we put on a great show for everybody. And from there, it's kind of status quo other than finally going back to Paris. I thought that place was closing down, and it's not. So really excited to go back to Paris. We won the last race we went there, and we've done that in the past. We've done the Bakersfield Paris weekend before. It's not terribly far from each other. So looking forward to that. And Tulsa's always been a great track for me. Excited to go back to Tulare for the Dennis Roth Classic. And then, Sharon, great spot. That TBD, I'm not sure where that's going to be yet, but man, I wish it was Lernerville, but sounds like the World of Outlaws are never going to go back to Lernerville. But if anybody is hearing this from the Outlaws or from Lernerville Speedway, if, we could just kiss and make up. I really think it is way better for everybody that Lernerville Speedway is on the World of Outlaws schedule. And I know there's reasons why we're not, which I don't really care about, because I think all the fans, all the drivers, all the teams are missing out on a good event where we would nearly sell out the place and put on good races. So hopefully one day things could change and we get back to Lernerville, because great track. LaSalle, Illinois, never been there. I thought we were going to go back to Chicago there, and maybe that will be the TBD. But man, I thought that track was great for not racing on it in a long time. I thought they put on a great event there in Chicago in the middle of October of all dates. So hopefully we get back there and then, end the season in Charlotte. So it looks like the World of Outlaws are trying to run us ragged, and they added a couple more races compared to last year. Probably next year we'll get no rainouts and probably race 90 times. So we'll see what happens. And one more event that I'm excited for, Deer Creek. Really cool track, high bank, awesome, cool facility, puts on great races for late models and sprint cars. So I think that will be a great one to watch. And I think we'll put on an awesome show there. So another one I'm bummed about is, not Cedar Lake, but Beaver Dam. I believe we're going to race there one time. Here it's could be the last race of, Beaver Dam history, which I hope not. Hopefully somebody buys it that wants to keep the track going, but that's one I'm really, really sad about, man. I really like Beaver Dam, Cedar Lake, just all of Wisconsin. Great fans, always pack the places, and usually have great racetracks. So excited to go to Mississippi Thunder, and we're going to another one that I don't think we've been to in a while. Angel Park and Plymouth. So Angel Park, it's been a while, and I've never been to Plymouth. I know the All-Stars went to Plymouth. Seems like it had put on good racing. So excited for that weekend. Three races in that weekend, and should be a lot of fun. What's everybody's comments on the schedule? What's everybody like? I see, people love the Wisconsin Speed Week. Tulsa's a lot of people's favorite tracks, and Vado is a great place, beautiful place. Let me know what you guys think of the schedule, World of Outlaws wise, and we'll talk about that high limit schedule on Tuesday with Brad. We'll get the graphics up and kind of talk about that. And I see people talking about 2 West Coast swings, and that's tough. If the transplants from All Stars went to high limit, now having 2 West Coast swings, that's really, really tough. A lot of traveling, a lot of hotels, a lot of miles, tough on your guys. So, I think that maybe scares some people away, especially if you're not running good or if you don't like California in general. But, going to Vegas, paying big money, at some events, is definitely keeping people around. So we'll just have to wait and see and, go from there. But anybody got any questions right now? We got a couple more topics to talk about, but we could throw in some questions to break it up a little bit and get some interaction. Steve Bixler, I definitely agree. Like, it was way too late in the year for Chicago, but we got blessed with amazing weather. Somehow we got really, really lucky, and it worked out. So sometimes, that's the way it goes. Let me look at my notes here, guys. Oh, yeah, the Dome. So what did everybody think about the Dome? Do you think sprint cars should be there? Do you think midgets should be there? I thought when midgets went there, I thought it was cool racing, and they fit perfect for that size track. Sprint cars can't race there. If you've seen those guys blow through the fence, in a modified. That fence isn't catching anything. It's chicken fence. So for the safety side, we'll be going way too fast with not enough space. And one guy jumps his right rear, he's going to land on the concrete on the other side of that fence for sure. But maybe as that event grows, maybe they could invest the money and World Racing Group or High Limit could get with Cody Sommer and, maybe build a sprint car event there, maybe race there 2 weeks, 1 weekend open wheel and 1 weekend, midgets, modifieds and late models like they do now. But what a cool event. But in my opinion, they have the dome, right? And then like the open wheel guys have the Chili Bowl. And that kind of seems to be a happy place. But what a cool place, an old NFL stadium to have a sprint car race at. Pretty amazing. So I think that was always my dream, was if Monster Jam could do it, why can't sprint cars? So hopefully one day we could be in a stadium with a proper track, proper catch fence, keep it safe for everybody, put on an awesome event, and hopefully pack 30,000 people would be a goal. Ron Von Bon from Wisconsin. We'll be glad to see you in Beaver Dam one last time. Hopefully someone buys it and keeps it open. Plus Wilmot is back. Von Bon, he was a supporter of my channel early on in the JGR days and sent me some stuff, and appreciate you, Ron, for continuing to support the channel. And looks like 3 years you've been a subscriber to the channel. So thank you very, very much for doing that. And hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully your health is good, and hopefully your online business is doing decent like it used to. But yeah, wow. Eight events in Wisconsin, that's a lot, but I think Wisconsin is ready for it. Wilmot being back 2 day show. Yeah, we packed the places at Wilmot, and it's going to be a good thing. Beaver Dam, I do not want to go away, Ron. So I agree with you. I hope we can go there for years to come. Somebody buys that loves sprint car racing. I don't think I can convince Todd to buy it. I think he's got enough on his plate, but man, what a great facility. It's good for the fans, a great vantage point being up on that hill, plenty of parking. The pits are flat. There's so many tracks that, don't have that luxury of having that nice flat piece of land. And what a cool place. Haven't won there. So that's a little bit why I'm bitter, why it's going away as well, but have run really, really good there in the past, and a lot of second place finishes. That's for sure. What's up, David? What are your thoughts on Northeast modified racing? So I don't keep track of the modified racing as well as I should. It's kind of split up. I didn't know, but I saw Matt Williamson won the championship, and the Super Dirt Car Series was only like 18 races this year, and I think they had a bunch of rainouts, but not a big schedule. I know that Short Track Super Series is the competitor, so that's broken it up a little bit. But I was told, each guy could run both series if they want to. So, there's so many tracks in New York, and guys like Matt Shepard, Matt Williamson, and Stuart Friesen make a great living racing big block modifieds. A lot of big paying events, and the Northeast people love it. So, I'm happy we're going to be going to the Canada area, because I know there's a lot of Canadian fans that go to New York to watch races, and bummed we don't have a 2 day show at Weed Sport and only have a 1 day event like we did this past year. But, it's one of those things, a little bit of politics, high limits in that region. That's why we're going to Canada, to make that all work out. We didn't want to race at Weed Sport while High Limit was racing right down the road, and split up the car count and the fans. So, just trying to find our place, and, that's the route we're taking this year. I think the Outlaws did an indoor race, but it flopped. I don't know what year, but I believe it was in the 90s. I believe that was at a baseball diamond. I think the track was like a triangle shaped. I don't think it was very good. I think it was a long time ago. Got to win Beaver Dam, David. Yeah, that's for sure. Do you see yourself getting behind the wheel of any other race cars? I'll definitely like to try a late model one day. It's so hard running for points and racing the amount that we, race. It just really, really tough. The focus it takes. It just mentally, it's hard. And if I want to get a late model, I want to do it right. I want to be able to test want to be able to get some practice and do a good job. And I think I can, but I'm just not going to hop in a late mile that day and go for hot laps and do good that night, right? That's just not realistic. So late model would be cool. Racing a NASCAR Cup car would be cool, just to say I did it, because that was my original dream when I was younger. That's what I grew up around, and that's something I would like to experience. And the obvious other answer is a Formula One car, but a trophy truck, that probably looks like the most fun vehicle to drive, like the Pro 4 4-wheel drive, high horsepower V8s. That looks like the most fun vehicle. It's like screwing around on a side-by-side in your backyard, but racing and doing it for a living. Those guys seem to have a blast. That Carl Rennezener guy, he's been living it up. So definitely would like to drive those. Probably that would be my number one for to experience and have fun. Let's see. Michael Garrett from PA. One a scale of 1 to 10. How much would you say my obsessive merch purchases contribute to the championship this year? Wife will be watching. Think future sales. Definitely a lot, man. I mean, it's just so cool to see. Guy from Connecticut, didn't have a dad that raced, and just had to build my brand from the ground up. And I felt like I've worked hard at it for a while, and then, hiring Carter several years ago to help me out and keep growing this thing. It just feels really cool to be, one of the most popular guys at the racetrack, and your merch trailer be really busy, like Sheldon's and Donnie Schatz's, and it's pretty awesome. So everybody that contributes, and when you go to a racetrack and you see DG merch everywhere, it just feels really cool, that you're doing things right. Obviously, when you win races, people like you, but I think it's super important to interact with the fans before and after the races. And I try to be in a t-shirt trailer at every event and sign autographs and shake hands and take pictures. And I think that goes a long way in building your brand. And, we have a great merchandise trailer, and we've had several people working it, but we'll always try to keep a positive attitude and, just put smile on people's faces, and try to produce quality merch. And Michael, I appreciate for what you do. Looks like you like to do iRacing and sim racing, and it's a lot of fun. During COVID, I did a lot of that. So thank you guys for the support. Hopefully you guys took advantage of our Black Friday sale. If not, we'll be doing a deal this week, which will be a little Christmas discount, and you have to order, I think, before December 14th. I think before the end of this next week will be the last date they can guarantee to get it for Christmas. So thank you guys very much for that. And we'll plug Shop DGR for that if you want anything. And we'll continue to this comment section. Got to get Jackson Nats back before their 50th. Yeah, I mean, that's something, Todd's trying to figure out, Jackson, right? It's a place that, doesn't have a lot of population around, where Sioux Falls has a lot of population. So I think they're just, messing with it. Jackson Nationals was 3 days. Now it was 2 days, and now we got 2 one-day shows. So he's just going to keep seeing what the best is for Jackson. And, obviously he's an aggressive guy, so he's going to try what he can to, make both tracks awesome and what really makes sense. What size is New Egypt? New Egypt's got to be probably a third. Maybe it's a 3/8 mile, but man, haven't been there in a long time. I think I won my last race there. So really looking forward to getting back there. And, what a unique track. But I had a lot of laps there with URC back in the day, and looking forward to that for sure. John Coyle said, wife loved her new David Gravel hoodie. I appreciate it. David, you signed a wheel of mine that was from Jason's car and also had his signature when you drove the 41. That was very cool. If anybody won those giveaway items from the Black Friday sale, the 2 blankets and the shield, I got them packaged up and labeled up. They'll be dropped off tomorrow. So you guys will be getting them then. let's see. Todd said, great year for our team. Fun stuff and a lot of good years ahead of us. Get to Marco Island, get out fishing in Ray's new badass boat. I'm definitely in for that. We're going to get through the PRI show this week. Going to go see all our people that support us. Taylor will be there, so I'm going to eat dinner with Taylor. Spread the good word, Big Game Motorsports. Shake hands with all the people that support us. And, try to grow Big Game, try to grow David Gravel, and, do right by all the people that support us. But, we were able to go to the Bahamas after the season was over. We hosted Thanksgiving here at the house, and now we are going to PRI show, coming back here for a few days. Then we're going to Connecticut for the holidays, going to see my dad. I seen somebody asked before about how my dad is doing. Both my parents got a little sick last week, just a cold or flu symptoms, but my dad's doing a lot better. Gaining the stamina. He's starting his therapy here very soon, and really looking forward to that to get his strength back and kind of find out what his limits are, what his heart can and can't take, and keep it in a good window there. Let's see who else we got. I would love an autograph from Levi too. Love watching him and Jill with you. Yeah, that one for Todd's 100th win at Lincoln. His hair was so long and messed up, and he looked homeless. So I'm glad we got his hair cut. He looks way better with short hair, in my opinion. Raz said, not sure if you addressed the Fox. No, I haven't addressed the Fox, sadly. Would love to do car content, and it takes some commitment. I feel like if I only do 2 videos a year about it, it doesn't get much traction. So I truly need a video guy here with me, and we could do some cool stuff with the cars. But that GT500 that I got is getting towed to a shop this week and getting a bunch of mods. So Raz, the Fox is not done. Pretty depressed about it. It's been there for 2.5 years and still not done, but should be done this off season. So once it's up and running, we'll get a full video on it and do some driving, maybe some burnouts. And then this Mustang, I actually filmed some videos of it when I just got it and did some draggy testing. If you guys don't know what a draggy is, it measures your 0 to 60, your quarter mile times, your eighth mile times, your 60 mile per hour to 130 times. And it's just this little GPS device you just put on the dash, and you link it to your phone, and it gives you all this data. So people use this all the time to see if their car's any faster or not in the street. So when they go to the track, they kind of know more of what their car is going to run. So definitely going to have some more content here in the future. But it's hard. Having Levi is a big life change. Jill's working 3 days a week. So, those 3 days, my time is consumed, and it's really, really difficult. So just be patient. We'll one day, try to do a better job on doing, not just sprint car racing, but doing more stuff in the off season, doing stuff more away. So if there's not that many more questions right now, my last topic I wanted to talk about was, would you say dirty driving or aggressive driving? And a lot of people, Dirt Tracker, Jeremy Elliott, Sprint Car Unlimited, the Drivers Project, right? All talking about those topics. And, Carson Macedo has been getting bashed. So he went on the Drivers Project to, kind of defend and show his side of the story. And what I would say is, I think the Drivers Project did say it, or maybe Sam Haferty, but I agree that since Kyle Larson came in and dominated our sport in 2020 and kind of showed that he could win a shitload of races, right? And win nearly every night when he's on his game. I feel like that did make people step up. Now, Craig Delansky and Jack Hodenshield and, those guys race really, really aggressive. Joey Saldana in his heyday was an aggressive driver. But you would say more of the veteran guys, I would say, were more reserved and a little bit maybe more methodical, like, Donnie, Jason Sides. Jason Myers was fairly aggressive, but I felt like a methodical racer. So, the big midget wave coming in, You know, you got Rico with his real aggressive driving style, you know, racing with Kyle a lot in the midgets. You know, Tanner Thorson hasn't raced a lot in the sprint cars, but, you know, he had to race really, really aggressive midgets. Buddy didn't make a lot of friends in midgets, really, really aggressive driving style. But I just feel like, has the bar been raised? I don't know, but the aggression has raised. And it seems like, I don't know if it's the tires, the wings, not really sure, but you have to keep your speed up. You can't slow down a lot with whatever the package is right now. It's hard to slow down and pick up the grip on the bottom more than it used to be. So it seems like you got to slide a guy, get back to the cushion, get your speed built back up, and then get back to the top and rolling. So, you know, I don't want to pick out anybody specifically, but I felt like that deal at Tulare with Carson with that lap car, I felt like he went in there and there was room, and I felt like it was just they met in the middle. Like, it looked like to me Carson was going to stay on the bottom, and maybe the guy on the outside thought he was going to stay on the bottom. And then when Carson slid up, he was committed in the throttle, and that guy was like, oh shit, I'm going to flip. And they met together and crashed. Now, some of those other ones, I think, you know, Carson said, you know, he messed up. So I'm not going to really talk about that much, but we'll go back on the Buddy Kofoid deal with me and him at Paducah. You know, at the end of the day, I drove into the guy in front of me if it was Baylog or Buddy, right? So it's not like Buddy drove in the side of me. He cleared me. But when you drive and slide people 2 for 1, you know, there's a repercussion where you're going to nearly stop right in front of those guys. So an old school guy like Donnie Schatz, he's going to lay the bumper to you and try to spin you out, right? And in my situation there, for that aggressive slide he had and how much he had to slow down, checked up Baylog, which then checked up me, and you only could slow down or read that so fast when that rate of speed is that much different. So was it really Buddy's fault? I mean, he made the chain reaction happen, but did he drive in the side of anybody? No. It was an aggressive move, and I just was the short end of the stick on the deal. So that's just a part of that aggressive racing and the time I was pissed off. And I just think you don't have to do that to win races or pass people. I think there's other ways to do it, but everybody has different driving styles. Everybody races a different way. So I race the way I race. Sometimes I slide into somebody, but I try not to do that often. And I usually try to make the bottom work or the middle or diamond move. I try to do something that other people, you know, can't. So it's just part of our sport. And then with social media nowadays and the replays and having stuff instantly on social media, which we never had years ago, everybody sees anything that anybody did wrong, they see right away, and people are going to have opinions on it. So the positive and negatives of having social media, but it definitely draws a lot of interest, draws a lot of eyes to our sport, and that's the trade-off. So, you know, I think that's all I really have to say on it all. I feel like, you know, I can't really think of a lot of other instances that were like, man, you know, it's just out of control. I think at the end of the day, the guys in the wing 410 sprint cars have a good amount of respect for each other, and stuff does happen throughout the year. You know, it just, it happens sometimes, right? You just, you raise the bar and you're pushing. And, you know, I was kind of guilty of that at Cotton Bowl early in the year, pushing really hard and got into a wreck and pushing out Atomic and crashing. So to me, there's a limit to all that. And if you drive under your limit, you know, mostly all the time, you're probably not going to crash. But if you push past that limit, that's when bad things happen. Let's see. Al McGee said, I think the aggression is up because if you aren't aggressive, it's super hard to win, which it's super hard to win a lot. I think, you know, Carson did touch on that on his driver's project, that you got to be very, very aggressive to win a lot of races. And would you say that I'm the most aggressive guy? I would say no. But I led the nation in wins. Now, when Donnie was winning 20, 30 events a year, was he the most aggressive guy? No. Who's won the most races in the last couple years? I really don't know that answer, but I'm going to guess probably like Macri and Brent Marks on a pick and choose schedule, but not all on the national touring level. So that's hard to compare that. But both of those guys, very, very aggressive drivers, not afraid to throw hands and throw big bombs. So I would say you want to win the most races. Your chances are, being really aggressive will get you there. But you're probably wrecking more. You're probably DNFing more. You're probably finishing lower in the points. And there's a lot of different ways to skin a cat. So it's just what route you want to go. David, how do you think the Outlaws will be against the Canadian drivers with how many people who are going to have local advantages? That's interesting to see. Canada does not have a lot of 410 races to my knowledge. So Ohsweken is so slick, you don't need a lot of horsepower. So I'm not really sure. Want to come sit? Come sit. Levi is not going to sleep, but we'll see if he can be a good boy. Can you say hi? Say hi to the camera.
Hi, Grandma.
Good boy. So I don't know. Stuart Friesen won an Outlaw show there years ago. So we will see. We don't know. I think the Outlaws will have the advantage because we go to slick tracks like Weedsport and other ones throughout the year. So we will see. Don't touch the light. Can't touch the light, okay? But I think the Outlaws will do well, but I'm sure there'll be some Canadian guys that do really good at Ohsweken for sure. Buddy drove a lot better later in the season. Yeah, I'll give Buddy props. I felt like after our deal that happened, I think that he changed a little bit. And I think he drove well. You look at that race at Huset's for the 100,000 to win. Carson drove, right in the side of him on a slide job earlier in the race. And he just gets back to business, finds a way to pass Carson clean, and wins 100,000 to win there at Huset's. So I felt like he could have been really pissed off and drove in the side of him, and he didn't choose to. So that showed maturity and a good way to, race. And you don't have to, do those things to win races. So Levi is just squirmy. Should be sleeping. Oh, no. Go to sleep, baby, okay? It's okay. You're tired. Got to go to bed. See, guys, this is real, raw, and live here on the David Gravel Show. Hopefully on Tuesday he is sleeping by now, but you're going to deal with that. David, how do you think the Outlaws? Yeah, I read that one. If racing groups are serious about good races, why don't they look at tires? I guess years ago, rear tires were not as wide as they currently are. That should be worth looking at. Tony, I don't know the reasons why, right? But we have the tire that we have today. If you change the width, change the molds, change the compound, right, that is a huge overtaking for Hoosier. One, that's a lot of window for them to screw it up and mess it up. Two, it's going to cost them a lot of money. And I guess there's no guarantee that the racing's going to be better. Just like the 1-inch wicker bill or the 1.5 or the 2 or no wicker bill, dished wings, D10s, RD12s, mediums, or H15. I don't know if there's any real data that, hey, this is the best, right? If you look back 10 years ago, you think the racing's better, 1-inch wicker bill, less horsepower, different tires. I think there's just a lot of different variables. So is the wicker bill a good or bad thing? I have no idea. I think 1-inch or 2-inch, it's very minuscule on what's a better race or not. I feel like the 1-inch wicker bill, smaller window to get your car good on a slick track. If you're out of the racetrack, you're pretty much screwed. 2-inch wicker bill, if your car's a little bit off, you trunk the wing with that 2-inch wicker bill, you at least got a decent amount of downforce and your car could be maybe decent. So, yeah, I don't know, I haven't been around long enough, and I never said like, oh, that was the best tire for the best racing. I thought the Goodyears raced pretty good, but they had a lot of tires, exploding and stuff. But Goodyear's out of the sport, and I don't see them coming back. So I don't really know, true, real, honest answer because I don't think there's any proof. Buddy will be serious competition in 2025. Yeah, I mean, Buddy's very talented. The second half of the year, arguably the best car. The second half of the year, I think, Buddy, Carson, Donnie, going to be really strong. And then, Gio, Sheldon, Logan, they're all right there. I mean, Logan had an off year. Sheldon had a lot of DNFs. Sheldon cleans DNFs up and Logan gets back to form. And, Donnie wins a couple more races. I mean, it's truly, really competitive. And, yeah, we don't have the 12 really good guys that we've had in the past. We've had, this year 7 or 8 really good guys. But in my opinion, if the Outlaws was that easy, why did Logan Schuar have such a down year this year? You would think he would have thrived. You think he would have performed better than years previous. But truly, this is his worst year in a long time, quote unquote, against lesser competition. So I think running 10th with the World of Outlaws may be a little easier this year. But you're not getting rich. You're not winning the points. You're not running good in the points running 10th every night. You got to have an average finish 4th or 5th. So if you're running 10th every night, not going to get it done. So I don't like when people say, hey, the Outlaws are easy. If it's easy, come and do it and see how you could do. Because I think you throw any of the high limit guys with us, they're not going to do better than where they did in the high limit series. In my opinion, Brad had a pretty good year. But not a great year, and still won the points by how many? If he ran the Outlaws this year, he's either maybe winning by a slim margin or he's running 2nd or 3rd this year pretty easily, in my opinion. But, you just never know. You could always speculate who would do what here, but I would say the high limit series is not easy, and the World of Outlaws is not easy as well. But I think harder things with high limit, harder things with the Outlaws. But you want to run top 5 in the World of Outlaws points is 100% harder to do, in my opinion, than the competition at high limit this past year. You could put that on a postcard. Christmas time always keeps kids restless. They feed us off a holiday hustle. Yeah. David, would you run an indoor sprint car race in the middle of the winter like some of the other series? Think there's a sprint car dome future? I touched on that a little bit. I feel like maybe, but we need a proper fence. And I haven't been to the race at the Dome on how much space there is. So I'd be really curious to make a lap around there or put some feet on the track and really see how wide it is. Logan is spending his time off ice bathing. David, would you run out? Answered that. All right, guys, so I'm going to wrap this up here shortly. If you guys got any final questions, Robert Kane, I see your question about the tire inflators, but I'm probably going to save those topics for the high limit deal with Brad on Tuesday. I just feel like it's going to be one of the things, a lot of rule changes that they're determining that they want to do, and the Outlaws are not. So I think that'll be a great topic to talk about. But this is a little bit, we didn't announce the show that long ago, and we need to do a little bit better to push this live stream again with the gravel show. So now that we just got one in, got the ball rolling, having a guest obviously is going to be really, really exciting. So Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, we're going to have Brad Sweet on. I think it'll be a great show, talk about a lot of good things, do a little bench racing, talk a little shit with each other. And that will go really good. But I feel like, we're streaming on Facebook and YouTube. So wherever you guys are at, thank you for joining in and watching. And we look forward to doing more and more. But we'll be at the PRI show. So if you guys are going, great. If not, watch our socials. We'll be signing autographs at the Simpson booth. We'll be in the Butler Built booth on Friday. And I believe we have an MRN interview with Steve Post while we're there. So really looking forward to that. The PRI show is a great time. And just as you build relationships with all these companies you've done business with over the years, it's fun to hang out with them, talk, see their new products, promote them, and just talk about the year and enjoy the holiday season. So I got to thank all my sponsors: Houston Speedway, Billion Automotive, Jackson Motorplex, MMM. I got to thank Butler built seats, impact signs, 2 really big keys to me personally, keeping me safe with all these seats. Impact wrapped my trailer for me, got me that beautiful video board on the t-shirt trailer. But really lucky guy to be racing with Big Game Motorsports and providing everything we need. It's really a lot of fun. I'm excited to continue racing with Cody and Zach. We got to find a third guy. We're missing our car chief right now, so we'll be replacing Steven. He went on to do bigger and better things and staying off the road next year and racing locally, I believe, with Lucas Wolf. So, I think, it's going to be a great year. Zach's been growing into a great tire specialist, and Cody really coming into an elite crew chief, top 3 in the world in our sport. So looking forward to the future, guys. I think our best years are to come. I hope I think we're capable of trying to dominate the sport like Donnie did for those couple years. I'm really confident in our motor program, Cody, what I got going on, and Todd, Taylor, Luke, and Andrew supplying everything we need to go and win races. So looking forward to that, guys. And we're going to end it off here tonight, and we'll see you Tuesday night. Please check out shopdgr.com, and we'll see you guys then. You guys have a happy holidays if you can't tune in next, but stay tuned. We're going to have great guests for the rest of the year. Thank you. Peace out.
Dude, it's so bad.
We don't want to look like to your crew chief here.
Yeah, we don't want to look like we're soft. Is it you or the car?
Oh, yeah.